You're listening to the Night Demon Network. Go to nightdemon.net/subscriber to unlock more exclusive content.
Hello and welcome to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. I'm your host Nesbit. Today we are back on the road with Night Demon and their second leg of the Outsider European Tour. The band and crew sit down to discuss in detail the behind-the-scenes stories of everything that happened. This is Night Demon on the road.
We're back. So yeah, we had a couple one-offs in the summer. We did the Blades of Steel Fest in Madison, Wisconsin, Frost and Fireland, and we're back again, back on the road to finish part 2 of the Outsider European Tour, part 2. The second leg of this, which we had scheduled, I don't know, maybe almost 9 months before. And we had no idea we were going to get this King Diamond tour, so luckily this worked out actually almost to the day, so we didn't have to cancel or postpone any of these European shows. So we all came home for about a week and regrouped and flew to Europe on September 11th, the best day to fly, I guess, or not, right? We all
works
know.
Out so far every time.
Too soon. And we all know 9/11, but obviously we were flying to Europe with Cirith Ungol because we were doing some shows together. But those guys, of course, were nervous to fly on 9/11. But it's kind of like one of those things I kind of think, like, if you book a flight on 9/11, you know, your odds are probably pretty good, right? I mean, like, with how many flights are out there in the world, you know, and when that tragedy did happen, it was a few planes. We weren't leaving from New York, or were we? No. I was in New York. I think I flew back on the 10th. Yeah, I was with the mindset of like, hey, maybe there's more open seats on the plane, you know what I mean, which is nice. And I think there actually was. But we flew back to Germany, back to Nicholas's place. He picked us up from the airport. Brian flew from Florida. Laura flew from Ireland. Me, Armand, Tim, and Rob flew from L.A. And Rose came too, Rob's wife. She was going to do a month-long trip in Europe. So we flew into Germany, got our stuff, got to our normal hotel now. Now that Hotel Nicholas is no longer available, right? So we were in the familiar hotel. We had the traditional 6-hour German dinner there. It was nice. We hadn't met up with you guys yet, with the two Joels. They weren't coming until later. So these were our kind of one-off shows. So we'll get into doing some commentary on that. But so where we do want to pick up here is October 1st in Linz, Austria. Brian had flown home Laura and I flew to Ireland for a week. Armand and Tim came back to the States for a week. Brian went to, where'd you go? Florida or Canada? For that
both.
week. Oh, you went to Florida and Canada.
Yeah.
And then back to Florida and then back to Germany?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. He had to rehearse with his other band, Hellwitch. Because they were also playing on the same festival as us. So we did one show with just Cirith Ungol in Linz, Austria. And we had the two Joels there to help tech for us. They showed up. You guys went and picked up the van, right?
Yeah, the day before.
Yeah.
We flew to Nicholas. We grabbed all the gear, and we left at 4 a.m. I'll never forget that. And we drove pretty much 10 hours nonstop. Yeah. To meet you there at 3 p.m. Right in time.
Perfect. And then me and Laura flew into, where do we go? Vienna. We flew into Vienna and had a long car ride there. Rob and Rose had a long car ride there from another guy. Mm-hmm. You and Tim, Armand and Tim flew into Munich and had a long car ride there. But didn't you, like, what happened? There wasn't, you couldn't fit everything, or you took the train, or?
Oh, as normal, the guy showed up with a fucking, like, Volkswagen Rabbit, you know, to pick up. We have 2 guitar cases, you know, like the big Anki cases, the fucking rack or something. I don't know. We had a lot of shit. And it's like, dude, there's no way, you know, like, what are you doing? So we tried every which way, and, like, at one point, I got in the front seat, and I was like literally sitting at like leaning forward, and it would have been like a 5-hour drive like that, leaning forward. I'm like, no, this is not going to work. We're not doing this. So, yeah, I think I ended up finding us a direct train from Munich to Linz.
What about October?
Oh,
right?
okay. Wait a
Oktoberfest.
minute. So hang on.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I sent Tim with the guy, and I went on my own, as I tend to do. And I realized it was October, you know, and there's this little thing called Oktoberfest in Munich. It's like the biggest thing ever. So I had to take a train from the airport to the main station, which was right next door to the grounds. So I found a late train and decided to go and peruse the Oktoberfest grounds on my own for a couple of hours, and had a few giant beers, ate some sausage, listened to some Oompa music, saw some guys in lederhosen walking around. It was a Sunday, I think. It was the last day, I think, of that place. But it was cool, you know, seeing that. You know, next time, I'd like to spend more time there, but yeah, and then I jumped on a train at like 9 p.m. or something like that, and it was just an hour or two. And I got there and met Tim at the hotel and waited for you guys. Were you guys there by then? Or?
No, we got in late.
Yeah, you got in real late.
Super late. The next day we went, luckily the hotel was like literally walking distance from the venue, which was nice. I just went and walked around town a little bit, and there was a huge mural on the side of the building of the venue that said Kurt Cobain, but the guy looked exactly like David Spade. Like I we'll put that in the subscribers section for bonus content. I'm sure we all have a photo of that. It was really hilarious. Like I kind of thought it was a joke. Like did somebody really do that?
There's
But
no way
who
that's
knows?
Kurt Cobain, dude.
Yeah, it looks exactly like David Spade. So
Yeah, at first it looked like Brad Pitt to me. I'm like, that's fucking Brad Pitt there. And then you told me like, no, it's someone else.
it's
Yeah,
Joe
it's even
Dirt,
more
dude.
accurate.
Yeah.
Joe Dirt.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. Really small club, probably the smallest club that Cirith Ungol's played since their reformation. But it was packed, of course, and it was a good time. Nothing too eventful happened there, right? That anybody can remember.
Schnitzel for dinner.
Yeah, you know, standard
with
issue.
jam.
Schnitzel.
That was the first for me.
Oh, jam. Yeah, like
yeah.
a sweet.
You guys remember that?
It's kind of, yeah. It was a really good show, though. I remember it being a really, really packed and sweaty, hot, little tiny place.
Yeah.
So.
we had a day off after that, and we had to get to the Keep It True Rising Festival, which was slated to be Cirith Ungol's final European performance. Night Demons headlining the first night, and Brian's other band, Hellwitch, was playing the same day as Cirith Ungol. So we were all involved in some way with at least 2 bands and multiple days on this same festival. So, well, some people might think that's a lot. I guess you guys know that that's normal for us, and we just get it all done. So we had a day off in Nuremberg, just drove to a hotel, pretty nice place. I used the sauna. They had a spa, all that stuff. You guys found some Mexican food.
Oh yeah, Rob's typical.
What was it? Crazy Nate's was the name of the place.
Nate's or something. It was
some American guy that moved to Germany
from Long Beach, you know.
Rob, he owns every bit of merch they've ever made now.
Yeah,
he's got like fridge magnets and T-shirts.
Yeah, Rob Garvin loves to eat Mexican food in any place that he can. That's his
besides
first thing
Mexico.
Yeah, besides Mexico, where he eats pasta. Yeah. So the following day, we drove to Wurzburg, Germany, for the Keep It True Rising Festival. We had played in this building before with Cirith Ungol 2018, the Hammer of Doom Festival, and Night Demon played when this festival was called Metal Assault in the winter of 2015, right when Curse of the Damned came out. Compared to the other venue that Keep It True is normally at, this venue is much better for sound, even though it's an old post office, like post office depot.
Yeah.
It's like essentially a big concrete bunker. Every year they've been saying that this place is going to close down. They're going to gentrify the area, turn it into student housing, or knock down the building and do some other commercial thing. But that still hasn't happened. Supposedly this was the last year this was going to happen here, but a week after this festival, they already announced they're coming back next year. So I don't know. So the first night, is essentially a pre-party. They call it the night before. It was a Thursday night of the festival, and Night Demon was the headliner. It was great. About 1,000 people showed up, so biggest pre-party we've ever done. And this was an opportunity for us to do the Outsider album, do this same set in a festival environment. We did try it before in 2022 at, what was that other fest that we did, that we headlined, where Rage played? I can't remember, but it seemed to be that the whole concept of the album did not go over so well in a festival environment. But we wanted to do it again anyway. I think, you know what's weird? I think that in an indoor festival,
I was going to say that.
it's right. Isn't it just so different, like indoor and outdoor, even if you're playing at night, right? Like how different that perception is with intimacy of songs, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because this time it went over really well.
Yeah, it did. And there were a lot of Night Demon fans there.
We were also headlining too, which helps.
But we headlined that other fest in Germany last year.
Did we?
Remember?
Yeah.
And it was an outdoor fest, and it felt really strange. And that's when we decided, hey, this is not a good set for a festival, right?
Yeah.
And
Also,
it was at
like,
night.
like really hot, like peak of the summer.
Yeah.
The other day, I remember
Right.
Laura setting up the merch, like just staying there the
that's
whole day,
right,
like being cooked alive.
Also, I think, too, like, there were less bands on this pre-party, and it wasn't like a thing where it's outdoor. People are showing up at noon, and by the time, the headliner goes on an outdoor fest, everybody's
cooked.
just hammered.
Yeah.
And they're tired,
Absolutely.
so I guess that does make sense, But the show went really well. I remember that they had these spark machines on stage, the same ones that we used, that we bought for our 2023 headline run, where we we did catch the ceiling on fire in Berlin and had to cancel that show. You can go revisit that episode if you like. That's the Outsider Euro Tour from 2023. Probably episode 1, I think that would be in. But they had them this time, and it's like, look, they brought them, right? The production staff brought them, not us. They were prepared to use them, so we were ready to go. And I remember Brian was real excited about that.
I was. It really made a huge impact for me. I mean, when I'm playing a show, I'm in the back, so I don't get to interact with the crowd as much as the stringed instrument players might. But I get really excited. You know, it makes me have a really good show when the lights are on point, or yeah, Laura's usually pretty good with that.
Usually.
But seeing the smoke go off and the pyro, that's really the game changer for me personally. That really gets me pumped up and makes me have that's what sets the shows apart for me. Really, is when the production can really shine in its full effect.
Yeah. It was nice being the headliner because we got to sound check and kind of leave most things set up. But, you know, you're playing a festival. When you're using festival backline, a lot of times the other bands before you will use your stuff and things will change. They were really late, too. It was the first day of the festival, and they were, like, really behind on things. So we kind of had to rush. But it ended up working out anyway, I think.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed out because, so this is the first bit of touring. I had my own lighting board, so I was just like learning how to do that. I'd spent kind of a couple of solid weeks just every waking moment on tutorials and, you know, learning all this programming. And even the day before, I had sat in Nuremberg in a hotel just building like a show file for Keep It True. And when I got there, they were like, oh, this is 3 universes and you only have capability for 2, so yeah, you can't use it. So I was just kind of a bit deflated on that, so I had to again just hop on the house board. But yeah, having some sparks and stuff kind of made up for that. And we kind of noted that, like, seeing other people that day, everybody was very, very front lit, like it was really bright on their faces and stuff. So I know the 2 house lighting people were sort of looking at me a little bit funny, but I kept it a lot darker and moodier, which is kind of what Night Demon wants. So even though you have like two professionals sitting giving you sort of sidelong looks, it was nice to make it a signature look for these guys, you know.
Yeah, and like I remember the show in general went really well. I don't think there was any huge mistakes, right?
No.
We'll see. We did record, I think, 9 camera angles for that show. So people have been asking, hey, is there going to be a live album or a live video or whatever from the Outsider Tour? And I don't know. Potentially this could be it. We'll see how it goes when we actually have some time to sit back and properly reflect on all this stuff, and look at the actual content that we have.
At least for history's sake, it is the only pro shot video of the Outsider Tour.
That is actually true. That is true.
I could be wrong. Wasn't there some technical stuff that happened? Actually?
Well, that was the next day.
Was it?
All the technical
Everything happened.
problems happened
All the next day.
in the
Okay.
span of 60 minutes. Everything that could have.
I think I remember having a lot of stage room and making a lot of bass mistakes that night. But I don't know. I'll have to check it out. Nothing we can't fix in the studio.
Yeah,
right?
man. Fully live.
Yeah.
No way.
We'll see. But all in all, I think it was a good show. And again, it was cool to have so many Night Demon fans there. Normally you play festivals to kind of gain some new fans. I think everybody in the audience, every single person probably knew who we were, whether they liked us or not. So that was cool. So if there was to be a show that would come out, filmed, I think that would be the fact that one was properly filmed is probably the right choice. So yeah, all went well there. And the following day we had Brian played with Hellwitch, kind of middle of the day. How'd that go for you?
It was great. It was definitely Hellwitch's triumphant return to Europe. I think we were the first band of the day that had the audience chanting our name.
I was one of those people in the front. I watched the whole set.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out there supporting my boy.
And I had a good time.
Yeah.
We were all proud aunties and uncles.
Yeah.
Hanging in the wings.
So that was cool personally, just to play both days with both of the bands, that I play for, and both of my families coming together basically. So that was cool for me. And of course Cirith Ungol as well it finished out the night. It's
But I will say one thing that tripped me out was seeing you on stage with those guys being the boss. I was like, wow, I've never heard you yell so loud and just telling everybody let's go, come on, we got 5 minutes. And after the show, you're hey, you jump off the drums and you're getting them up front to take this picture with the audience, and then you get all serious and for the picture you're all fist up, all brutal, you're guys, let's go, come on, And I was like, wow, man, that's definitely a role I haven't seen you play, So usually it's hey, dude, wake up. It's time to go. Here's some breakfast.
In 10 minutes, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. You want to stretch a little bit before you play? Nah, we're good. Yeah. So that was very interesting to see. I got some hope there for the future, of us, taking initiative on some things there. But yeah, that was cool. And you guys were the only death metal band on the festival, right?
Yeah, we definitely stuck out like a sore thumb, but I think that worked out in our favor quite a bit.
In a good way.
No, it did, yeah. People were intrigued, watching you guys.
It's
everybody
when we
paying
play
attention.
Party Song or something, we're the only clean singing band on a festival. You know what I mean? It's it works, And then
They were the only growling the song titles band as well.
We are all part of the delegated disruption!
But yeah, there was.
Well, that's Pro Shot too. We have all the footage of that as well.
Nobody will ever see that.
Yeah,
it's been destroyed.
Oh.
Sorry. Yeah. I hate to tell you that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so then there were some other cool bands that played that day. I was excited to see Pentagram. They had a whole new lineup. But it was cool to hear some of the songs. They played a bunch of new songs, and the record hadn't been out yet. So it was like, oh man, like I had no reference, you know. But they played right before Cirith Ungol, and like it's kind of like, I don't know if anybody's seen that Pentagram documentary. I think it's like one of the best rock docs ever made. And they had a big resurgence, and it was like for them to be supporting Cirith Ungol was kind of like, I thought that was a pretty good statement for Ungol, you know.
And what about your guest appearance?
Oh God, I guess we should go back for that. Yeah. So the night before, when Night Demon played, the direct support act was Marta Gabriel from the band Crystal Viper, and she had put together this band and had it was like a women in rock tribute almost, or women in metal. Queens of Metal, and did a bunch of like classic female fronted metal covers, a lot of underground stuff. But then she had some special guests that they flew in. Kate from Acid, they did an Acid classic. I don't know who the other...
Girls' School.
No, yeah, well, right, but there was somebody else. But Enid from Girls' School, the original bassist and vocalist, they flew her in to do Please Don't Touch, one of the songs that Girls' School and Motorhead did. And they needed a Lemmy, so they asked me to do it like a week before. So I went up and did my best Lemmy. It sucked because they changed the key of the song, so we were they wanted to do a backstage rehearsal, but no guitars were plugged in, and I was just trying to figure out what's going on. So when I went up there to sing it, I think I sang the whole first verse like a full step above, which is weird because usually I can hear a key and try and do it. But when you're trying to sing like Lemmy, it's like, wow, okay, like I wasn't used to that, and I didn't have the muscle memory. I caught up to it after the first chorus and did that, but...
Because I'm shaking so much.
guitar to make it tonight for you.
That was cool. I mean, I was really focused on our show, so it was, to be honest, it was a bit of an inconvenience. And it's not like, you don't want to go out before your show and, and do that. And it's, but it was cool that I was asked to do it, and people seemed to like it. So, it was weird. Like, I feel weird without a guitar. Like, what do I do? Like, like dancing around on the instrumental parts.
And that's where we're going to leave it for this week. We'll pick it up next week with the next night of Keep It True Rising and Cirith Ungol's performance. As always, I'll mention the subscriber section where you can find all of the bonus content from this podcast, live shows, full tours of live audio, live video, demos, unreleased tracks, show posters, tons and tons of bonus content. But you have to be a subscriber to access it. Find out how to become a subscriber on nightdemon.net. Until next time, this is Nesbitt signing off.
Thanks for listening to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. Head over to nightdemon.net, click on the subscriber tab, and sign up to access exclusive weekly bonus content. If you would like to donate to support the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast, you can do so through PayPal at paypal.me/nightdemonmetal. Additionally, if you have not already done so, please subscribe, like, rate, and review the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts.
All hail, Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. This is Dusty Squires chiming in to tell you about my brand new signature sticks from the London Drumstick Company. I've dreamt of having my very own drumsticks ever since I was a wee lad, and LDC made that a possibility for me. Founded in 2016 in London, England, the birthplace of heavy metal, the London Drumstick Company has trailblazed a path through the music industry and taken the drummer world by storm. When I met them for the first time, they knew their product was going to withstand the beatings of a Night Demon show. They took the time to work with me on getting everything just right. The balance and weight of my sticks are the same no matter what, and the durability is bar none the best I've ever had. I know my sticks will last through the set night after night. I'm truly honored to work with a company that caters to their players the way LDC does. Their innovation and attention to detail is what separates them from the rest of the stick makers out there. Their custom stick sleeves are unbelievable and really make the entire presentation complete. Wait until you see the design they came up with for me. It blew my mind and was a surprise to say the least. They have all kinds of amazing swag, including hoodies, t-shirts, drummer shorts, drum keys, stick bags, towels, face masks, practice pads, and much, much more. Even if you're not a drummer, you can be a part of Demon history and order my brand new signature sticks direct from their website. How cool is that? And to top it off, the London Drumstick Company are giving an exclusive offer to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. Go to londondrumsticks.co.uk and receive a 15% store-wide discount using promo code DEMONSTICKS. All capital letters, no spaces, Demon Sticks. DEMONSTICKS. I can't thank everyone there enough for the opportunity to be a part of their family and for them trusting me with their amazing products. See you metal maniacs on the road very soon. And yes, the wood chips will be flying.
Greetings, boils and ghouls. This is your comrade, the Crypt Keeper here, reporting dead from the sanctuary of the strange. Tonight's macabre myth is a fright-filled feature, one overflowing with monsters, madness, and magic.
Visit our website at monstersmadnessandmagic.com to stay up to date on all the dark dealings within the sanctuary of the strange. Enjoy the show.
Hey Metalheads, I'm Mark and I host Metal Forge. Let me tell you about the show. The Metal Forge features the best underground metal from all over the world. We spend every week with a different artist with interviews, in-depth conversations, and most of all, the music. We also feature audience interactivity where you can submit your questions to the upcoming guests. New episodes are out every Friday at noon Eastern Time at metalforgeradio.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Want to know what's going on in the world of music? Then tune in to the Nothing Shocking Podcast, a non-genre based, all-ages friendly rock and roll program. Join us weekly for interviews with all your favorite rock stars from the mainstream to the underground. You can find us at nothingshocking.libsyn.com or anywhere you download podcasts.
Okay, metalheads, you've been complaining that there has not been a channel that plays all of the heavy metal videos from past, present, and future for years and years at this point. Well, that time is over. Heavy Metal Television is back. HeavyMetalTelevision.net is the website. Go there. You can see videos playing 24/7, 365, all the time, all the best from the old school, the new school, and everything in between. Check it out, HeavyMetalTelevision.net. It is where the metal is.